In this video, we are looking at 6 specific strategies that you can use for developing students' vocabulary. And here they are, and we'll go through each one of these. And remember, we do not teach vocabulary, we develop students' word knowledge. Now, the first one is a vocabulary rating as a pre-post. Here you have students rate their level of word knowledge either before reading or before a lesson, and they simply see the word out of any meaningful context, and you can use some sort of rating system like that pre. Now, given a pre, this means there's going to be a post. Then, students see or hear the word in context. That means they read the chapter or have the lesson. And after the lesson, or after reading in small group, you want students to meet to discuss what do you think the word means, and then students rate their level of knowing, and hopefully the numbers go up. Variations of this, of course, is to rate the word during the week, during the month, or during the year. You don't have to do pre-post, but it just gives you a sense and them a sense of their level of word knowledge. Pre-post. Vocabulary rating. Adopt and adapt all these strategies. Now, vocabulary maps, and I'll get you or make sure you have a hard copy of these. There's a variety of strategies. You need to do a Google search. You'll get a lot of these, but they are graphic organizers used to add depth and dimension, depth and breadth to an understanding of individual words. And they include things like you have a target word, a definition, a descriptor, example, and I'm going to show you some specific things. For example, the word is here, define it, descriptor, an example, adopt and adapt, all right? Definite word definition, a visual, a picture, an example of the word being used. The word, a sentence, alternative word, different sentence using the word, different sentence using the word, and then the definition. Word, what it's related to, your definition, sentence, picture, word, and you get the idea. These are all different types of vocabulary maps. You want to present a number of different options for students to use and allow them to choose the one, or you find the one. Word, definition, related words, it is like. Word, related thing, similarities, different. All right, here's a word, something that's related to the word, similarities and differences. Vocabulary maps. You can do them individually or have students do them individually in a learning log. It's a great post-reading activity or post-lesson activity, but I like small groups because the description or the conversation that goes on enhances learning. When I do it in small groups, I give each group a different word. For example, if I was having a science lesson, I would give each group a different science word as a post-reading or post-lesson activity, and they would make big posters, and you would create word walls. These would be plastered on the wall to reinforce learning. And this is a type of activity you do once a week or every so often. It's not something you do every lesson. And as I said, they can also be put individually in journals or learning logs. Purposeful planned vocabulary infusion, PPVI. The teacher, you embed and model sophisticated vocabulary. All right, this gets you using the word in a context. Now you start by identifying words you generally used in the classroom related to a curriculum. And start with 4 to 8 of these. This is how you do it. Then you look for more sophisticated versions of that to substitute. Instead of gather, can we congregate? And I'm using simpler examples, simple ideas here, exemplars, so you get the idea, all right? And then you keep a tally of when and where you use the new word. This is for you to make sure that you are using that word. Simply put a tally mark to give you a sense of when and where you're using it. If you want to put the subject area, you could put S for science, if you wanted to do that in the subject area. But I like just keeping tally marks to keep me accountable for when I am using the word and not. Use their words for related writing prompts. No amount of suasion could get you to change your mind. Describe what this might be. And this would be a writing prompt or a journal entry. And they would be using the word suasion. Suasion. All right. The next one. The next one is synonyms and associations, or super word web, to add depth and dimension to word knowledge. First, the word is shown in the context of a sentence. Always you want to show new words in the context of the sentence. Very rarely should you show any word in isolation. Students make inferences as to what they think the word might mean. Then, students work in small groups to find synonyms after defining the word. All right, you define the word, or they define the word, or find a definition. Students work in groups. They can use a thesaurus or a computer, and they list synonyms for that word. And then associations, things they connect with aggressive. Synonyms, associations. And then they display the word on a word wall, on a poster. You get it up, and again, give each group a different word. Get it up on the wall adds depth and dimension. This can also be done as a post-reading activity individually in small group in a learning log or journal entry. A super word web is kind of the same thing. It just looks a little bit different. See the word in context. 3 or 4 synonyms or defining phrases are put on the inside, and given a computer looking for synonyms or a thesaurus, students can do that by themselves. You had a myriad of things to do. Synonyms on the inside, 3 or 4 associations on the outside. And again, you can create posters or journal entries, and I like to get these things up on a word or word wall. And you see an example there. All right, that is a super word web. Word, context of the sentence, synonyms, words or short phrases, and then associations on the outside. Classifying works best if students have had exposure to the word, should be done in small group. Given 4 or more target words, these are used as category headings. Given words then that are related, synonyms or associations, students have to put them in the correct category, what things they're related to. With younger students, I use 3x5 cards. With older students, you can simply have them write it in the correct category, and you can create posters. This looks great on a word wall, and again, to make it visual so that they encounter that new word several times adds depth and dimension. And semantic maps and concept maps. Again, you want to display the words. It allows them to see the word in context and how words relate to each other, and this relates both words and concepts. Now, a semantic map can be used as part of a post-reading or a post-lesson. Semantic map simply has the words and things that are related or associated, and then you generate associations here. Omnivores, all right, 3 ideas related to omnivores. That's a semantic map. A concept map is a hierarchy. It shows ordinate and subordinate categories. Living things, animals, plants. That is a concept map. These are sometimes used interchangeably. It really doesn't matter. The thing is that you see the word in context and how things are related to each other. All right. There is an example of a semantic map. 6 strategies for you to use with every activity. Adopt and adapt to meet your particular needs. I don't know you. I don't know your students. I don't know your context. So always adopt and adapt.